Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV with the Rude Man, and we're here in White Brim. We're looking for Drillmont, and Horschfont from Dragonhead sent us here. I want to get this introduction over so I can get my ass inside. It's colder than hell out here. Anyway, I think Drillmont is in that tower up there, so let's go take a look. Yeah, you'd think all this fur on this cat would keep him warm, but nah. There he is. Roland, is there aught you would ask of me? Pray, speak plainly. I am a man of action and need no honeyed words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the fury, but you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning and are canny enough to evade our best able trackers. But 'tis not merely this their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this ice heart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a traitor was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow, carried him to the infirmary. Assuming that he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. Well, alrighty then, let's go to the doctor's office. Pardon me, I'm just stomping all over your food here. Let's see, doctor's office, I believe, is upstairs here. If I remember right. Alright, are we upstairs? Yeah, I think so. Oh, here we go. This guy right here. The mistreated merchant. Tell you what happened? Well, sure. Of course. I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly black hearts. Well, I was traveling my usual route to White Brim when a sudden blow sent me reeling. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived at all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Okay, guess we gotta go search the wilds. Which way are the wilds here? Why is it always night? I guess if it wasn't always night, you couldn't say it was a dark and stormy night. Because a lot of these things always happen on a dark and stormy night. Oh my God, there's people laying all over the place. What the hell? Are they dead or just knocked out? Uh-oh. I don't have my carbuncle out. Can't wait to level up. Oh, I can't wait to level up. I'm used to playing a level, what is it? What is she? She's 87. A level 87 summoner that I'm playing on a different server. And so I have a lot more power, and I'm missing it right now. I'm missing it terribly. But we'll get there. Hello, sir. Hello? Hello? There we go. Gah! Draw your weapon, foul. Oh, wait. I recognize you. Adventurer, you are come-seeking heretics. Yeah, you can attack me, weren't you? Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. This is not a nice place. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they're gone, vanished like icy wraiths. And there she is. And nobody saw her? Oh, it looks like I had some kind of a tingle. I had some spider sense go off or something. The old spidey sense. You glimpsed a woman atop the cliff? Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? And to where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall. Some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. 'Twould be best were we to return to White Brim Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillmont. Well, that we can do. And again, 'twas a dark and stormy night. Take a shortcut through the roof, like Batman. I am Batman. Woo-ha! God, that's a little bit farther down than I thought. Roland, it appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, I fear, have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. 'Twould be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Horscherfont of your discoveries. He will wish to plan a contingency of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Well, that's what you think. Alright, we gotta head back to Dragonhead. Hark, I have news.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Well, what if it happens again? Then what? I mean, we haven't solved the problem. They're still out there. All right. Well, we're headed back to Revenant's Toll, so... Good news. Got a second shipment coming. Roland, 'tis good to see you return to the Toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of Corthius? Hausworth is to send us a second shipment. I must send thanks to Lord Horshfront for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphino's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. Yes, indeed. Let's see what we got here. Alright, really nothing I can use. While you were away in Corthius, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Teteru does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time, though. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand, or maybe a foot or two. Back to playing errand boy. She talked to herself. Oh, she's going to get scared again. That's what I thought. These parchments need to be sorted, and those documents, why are they even here? Oh, I am sorely tempted to file the lot in my wastebasket. Ah, Roland, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and all assemble here in the Rising Stone. You'll want to report directly back to Alphanaud if you don't want to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Yeah, except for we're supposed to be incognito, aren't we? I mean, I can't be, because everybody knows me. Well, we're up to 8 recruits. Woohoo! Well, at least that's how many uniforms we've got. Alrighty, we got 1. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself 'tis an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. Well, that's pretty special. These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. What? What? That made no sense. Gonna make duplicates to hand around. The scarlet garb marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom and a heavy defender or hardy defender of Limsa Laminsa. Yet, in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm and thought this new company fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Well, here you go, the uniform for you. Oh, now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. Is that it? Or did I miss somebody? I don't believe we've met. I'm Ilberd, and I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. The uniforms are a shrewd decision. There's no easier method of creating a common bond among what is, essentially, a band of strangers. Yeah. So you say. Ah, there's Wilrid from Little Alamigo. Big trouble in Little Alamigo. Little Alamigo could learn much from Reverend Toll, that this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Little growing room for growing boys and girls. Hello there, lad. Looking for me, was ye? I'd suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure as I'd hear it amongst all this bustle. Oh-ho, proper uniforms and all. This thing'll cut off the blood to my head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Don't like that tight fit, huh? Here you go. This will be better than those robes you're wearing. Her granddad has at last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I am excited to forge my own path forward. Ah, yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. 2 more to go. If I can find them. Ah, I know where there's one, I think. I think there might be one upstairs. But I know there's one way over on the wall there. Well, let's see if we can find this one. Doesn't say it's upstairs. Ah, here we are. Roland Painter. Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Reverence Toll. Yeah, we met her before. 'Tis an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Alright, we got one more. I think I know where it's at. Short bit. Yeah, it's the crook. I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit that I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Ah, our new uniform. I am reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Okay. That's all the uniforms passed out. Gotta go tell little Lord Alphanor. Little Lord Fauntleroy. Where's the little booger? He thinks he's in charge, so he goes to the office. Yes, Roland. Ah, Tataru mentioned you were handing out new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We were not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Roland. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come! Take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all!
Ooh, that's rousing.
For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were.
Well, that's probably good.
We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
Isn't that we've
The
always
Scions
done?
stand ready.
Now what? You got some papers you need to have me delivered, or maybe there's some bathrooms to clean.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well?
Of course they could.
I wonder. Have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans?
No.
Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelind's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Ew. What do we have here? Conjurer. The Heavensward hat. That looks cool. We'll take that. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last one. An ill wind is blowing. The winds are uncommon fierce this day. Oh, who's this poppin', Jay? It the Pope? Look, he's got little toy soldiers. Oh, he's got bugs in his ears. I bet that chair's uncomfortable as all hell. All right then. You know, it's always amazed me that these old castles and stuff. The rooms are so big. The the ceilings are 30 feet high and all stone and stuff. Wouldn't you think that they would make smaller rooms so they could keep them warmer? Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding. But it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such time as permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Ascians, Urianger is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for some good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphinaud did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation, that's another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he is, independent to a fault and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphinaud has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again, were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner that you're able. Till we're being delegated as sidekick again. Yeah, I know, I sound cynical. Alright, gotta go speak to Alphinaud. If we can figure out where he's at. Gotta go find the romper room. Oh, he's only just right here. Are you lost, buddy? What? Oh, it's Roland. And do be concise. I am rather busy. You would lend me a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor, though we are but newly formed. There's already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions. But I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance. Okay. Well, he's only just here. You couldn't tell him yourself?
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own.
Okay.
That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence.
Intrigue already.
Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies.
Okay.
Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
Yeah, I'm an army of one. Woohoo. Okay, so heading to the Hall of Flames. Alright, there's the Ramban. Hello there.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Roban. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah! Spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Wilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought.
Well, you think that.
To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all.
You might throw out a yuck every once in a while.
So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first?
Probably true.
Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime.
All right.
It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
We better get to it.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up.
It's not a game.
Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
Well, and with that, before I take this quest from here, I'm going to go ahead and take a break here. We'll carry on in the next episode. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you there. Ta-ta for now.